Capricorn, hi, come on in, please. Make yourself comfortable. I've got some sad news. Not for you, but I just got back. Earlier today, I attended a hospice, which is close to me. Family asked me to come in and speak with a lady who was on the verge of crossing over and wanted me to provide comfort and solace to her and let her know that everything is going to be okay, which it is. It definitely is for her. And what is sad, though, of course, is that I got the call on the way back that she has crossed over, which is very hard for families when the people that you love cross over. Of course, you see them again, but in fact, you see your family very often, very many times, which is either good or bad, depending on how you look at it. And I have got this deck, which I'm using. Now, it's the first time I've used this, I think, for you. It's from an artist in San Francisco, a lady by the name of Eden Gallanter. Now, the only reason why I'm mentioning it is because I get very good results with this deck. She calls it the Cheminée deck. And I'm also mentioning it because young artists often provide such joy to people with the work that they produce, and yet it's so difficult for them to get the financial return for the joy that they provide to others. So Eden Gallanter in San Francisco is the name of the lady if you want to track her down, because I'm sure she's got more works and maybe even decks like this that you can acquire if you're so inclined. But let us see what is in store for you, shall we? And let me put down first the hands of the Enterer to bring down the spirit. And the spirit now being here with us, we will have the reading that is accurate for you for the month of December. Let's see what there is. This is coming out, and this is time. This is really saying it wants to come. It's sort of jumping up, and it is the Magician. Marvelous card for you, the Magician. It's already got things it wants to say. That's interesting, isn't it? And as I say, I get very good results with this deck. People are astonished. There's the wheel, so called by Miss Gallanter, Major Arcana number 10. The tarot is interesting. Look, it's thousands of years old. I mean, the cards themselves were probably first developed in... that's the Ace of Discs, incidentally. The cards themselves were first developed probably in the late 1400s in Italy, but the spiritual underpinning of them goes back for thousands of years. And of course, when I use them and employ some practical magic as well. So we shall see. Come on, what's the last one? What's the last one? What's the last one? Capricorn, my friend here, is waiting with bated breath, as are we all. If we wait any longer, we're going to suffocate. Get on with it. You have come. Not you, but you. And what are you? The Three of Discs. Marvellous. Okay, as is the case. Now look, it's important that you look at the imagery on these cards while I do the reading for you, because it will infuse into you, and you'll just get it when I provide the reading. So come and sit down next to me. Let's look at the cards together, and I'll do the reading for you. Okay, here we go. Fascinating, fascinating. Let's have a look at this card here first, shall we? The card called Time. And here we have an old man that is... well, he's on 4 sticks above the water. There is there is a lantern with light coming out of the water. There is a fish looking up at him and 4 crescent moons. I really get the feeling that you have the divine spirit in you during this month. Now, that's just the feeling that I'm getting up from this card. Now, I'm certainly not in the business of selling religion, but you will, at least in the West, as a result of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, be aware of the importance of water and that sea in mystical and sacred theology and philosophy. And I'm reminded of the very first book of the Old Testament, or the Hebrew Bible, the book of Genesis. And in chapter 1, verses 1 to 3, it says, "When God began to create heaven and earth, the earth being unformed and void, with darkness over the surface of the deep, and a wind from God sweeping over the water, God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light." And that was the end of the first day of the 7 days of that creation story in that book. Now, what's interesting is that there on the first day, it was said, "Let there be light." Now, if you actually read that book, and I commend it to you, just read the first chapter of Genesis and read the first chapter 1, you will see that it was not until the 4th day that it was said that God created the sun and the moon so that light could then shine upon the earth. So there's very much a different opinion, it seems, as to what was the nature of that light in the minds of the people who created the story of Genesis. And that light which existed and which separated day from night was there at the outset, but before the creation of natural objects, the sun and its reflection in the moon to provide light. And this divine light, I think, is here within you during this period. Now, it's very much the case, I think, that if I'm looking at the astrology of the card here, for me, I see Mercury, the messenger of the gods, the planet of communication, the go-between between God and humanity, ruling the constellation of Virgo and Mercury exalted. This is the prophet of the eternal, the magus of the voice of power. And I think what this foreshadows for you is that this is a period where you may well find that you become a mentor to somebody during this period. Now, this may be formal, or it might be informal by way of discussions that you're having with people, that you are imparting your knowledge for their benefit and for something that they're going to take on board to make what it is that they're doing better, or to ameliorate or to improve the way in which they're handling a situation. There could also be within you, I think, some form of divine inspiration, where there's been a period, I think, where something has been just bubbling underneath the surface of you in your subconscious about what to do with a certain matter, or how to go about approaching a certain subject or person. And you'll have that inspiration which is coming to you. And then it says, you will therefore be able to do these things. I'm having the words, "I am alone in a cold, grey, desolate land. There is no other to be found, no companion to ease the going. Yet you are the light I bear, even when I don't know it, and the strong staff that supports me." Now, if we look at this guy here, he doesn't look at all unsteady on these stilts, I suppose we could call them. He doesn't look unsteady at all. He's in control. He's like an acrobat, an old acrobat, but an acrobat nevertheless. And here is this light coming up. And interestingly, this fish poking out of the sea, looking at him, I have a very strong sense of karma around this energy at the moment. There are things coming into your life which are rewards for past troubles that you have endured and which you have overcome. Remember that nothing is given to those who cannot sustain them and overcome them. And you have, I think you will perhaps also be spending some alone time for yourself to recalibrate yourself. Excuse me while I just bash my head against the camera there. I'll have to sue myself. And knowing my luck, if I sued myself, I would probably lose. So I think that what we have here is you getting away from a situation in order to get a better insight into it. Becoming aware of something that you were previously unaware of. And I think there is the need for you to get in touch with your untapped values. You will be someone who won't compromise your values during this period, and I have the feeling that you won't be lukewarm about relationships. You will either want a good, decent relationship, or you want nothing at all. There'll be no sitting on the fence. It will be all or nothing is the sort of thing that you'll be looking for. I think there may well be the need to complete things from the past before moving forward. And I think you'll be very gifted at things which involve the use of your hands, creating, building. It could be cooking, it could be makeup, it could be beautifying the home, it could be building things. A lot of things to do with the use of hands, manual work during this period. I think you'll be a very good organizer, and that's the influence, I think, of Virgo in this card, Mercury in Virgo with Mercury exalted. And you'll be very good at getting your ideas across to other people. And you will be able to listen to other people and look behind their words to see what it is that they have in mind. I think that this is actually a good time for you to start to look after your body and to really spruce up your environment, I think, spruce up things that are around you. And very much, again, I'm getting that feeling of motivation that's coming through here. Very strong feeling of motivation where you motivate other people, I think, by your example or by the words that you put through to them, because that influence of Mercury for you is going to give you the ability to really get good points across. Now there's another major arcana card here, and let's have a look at it. It's sitting right in the middle, and it is the Wheel of Fortune. Now why is it here for you? The Wheel of Fortune. Well, the Lord of the forces of life. Good fortune is coming here because I see the planet Jupiter all over this card. And therefore, Jupiter is bringing with it good fortune, prosperity, and a change in fortune, which is for the good. I also do get the feeling of destiny around you. And here is this karma that was coming through again, which is coming through, and it's coming in this form. That karma is coming in the form of bringing about your destiny. This is your karma that's coming about, I think, luck, chance, opportunity, some ups and downs, but winning. And again, karma. And there may well be a life-changing chance meeting that you happen to have with someone. I turned around 3 times in every way, and always I came at last unto you, for you are hidden in everything I love, in all that I desire. I think new beginnings, expansion. Look, I think this could well be a creative cycle underway here for you. Certainly a big breakthrough, and isn't that interesting, because I'm looking at the other major arcana card, which is to the top of it, and let us just have to the top right-hand corner there, we have the Magician coming up next. I think that we can... Look, the thing is about, there may well be changes coming along here, and changes that are favorable, but they may not necessarily seem to be so at first, and to be ready to act on any unexpected opportunities. Now, when I say be ready to act on any opportunities, what I mean is that don't sit there in a state of heightened expectation or nerves waiting for things to show up. Rather, just be yourself, be still, understand yourself without judgment. You know, I'm reminded of Japanese Zen and how it teaches people swordsmanship. And the Zen master will say, well, in order for you to be a good soldier, you must be ready for wherever the attack comes from. Of course, what happens is that the soldier will then go away and be sitting there like a bundle of nerves saying, I think the attack could come from this direction, or it might come from this direction, it could come from that direction, and then it comes from somewhere else. And then what happens is that the soldier has to undo all the preparation from this direction in order to meet the attack that comes from that direction, and also has to undo all the preparation from this direction in order to meet the attack that comes from this direction. Rather, be like a barrel that is filled with water, and you be the water. And you know, if you have a barrel full of water, if you poke a hole into the barrel at any point, the water immediately rushes out. And that is how you should prepare for opportunity, by being still. Be alert, be aware of yourself and non-judgmental of yourself, and be aware of all of your actions, be it picking up a piece of paper. And now I'm placing down this paper. You don't need to go through the internal monologue, but just being aware, and then the opportunity, which may come from any direction and which you probably haven't made any preparation for, will hit the barrel and make a hole, and then you can just flow out into it. I think I have this thought in mind that I am now ready for the miracle of my life. I am flexible in times of change. I enjoy manifesting internal abundance externally. Abundance, which created me, is what I am. Yeah. It's a turn of events coming your way, and it may be that you bring these on yourself. It may be that you push some of these things forward. Here we have the Magician. Well, the Magician is the second card. He really is the first example of division in the universe. Before, the divinity was whole, and then there is the division, which comes by the appearance not of the Fool, who is still united, but that of the Magician, who then comes in and is separate to the divinity, but completely like a baby, completely like someone who has no experience of anything. Here again, we have Mercury with you, so your mind is going to be alert during this period. Your ability to communicate is going to be right up there with you. The element in alchemy associated with this card is gold, and so I see great things for you. Now, I think what we can say here is, what word compares to your unending universe of love? Oh, plant your word in the chalice of my heart, and I will bear you children that shall walk the pathways of the stars, and shall know the Father that begat them. This is a time to create something in your life and bring it into fruition. You have a strong desire to bring about something new, and this is amplified by this card, which I'll get to in just a second. This energy here is about manifesting your good and your goals by using what you have at your disposal. So not dreaming about making things happen, but actually using talents, skills, resources, what you have to make things happen, and making sure it's a specific thing that you want to have, and make sure that it's reasonable and that you have a plan of attack. So you always need to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan as to how to get somewhere, then you end up going nowhere. So you do need that plan which is there. I think that what we can say here is focus then on a specific goal and have good motives and intentions for wanting the things to happen, because if you don't, I can assure you they will not occur. I think he is also a person who is really a great communicator, and I think that this is what you have. He's a person who has, and I think you will have, great timing and flexibility in all aspects of communications. And this is also mirroring this month for you in these two positions here, and the astrology of these cards here, because of the positions that they're in, exemplifying for you that communication is going to be one of your great strengths here. You'll be gifted in, well, what I call the visual arts, and that is, again, anything which is pleasing to the eye. So things that end up being pleasing to the eye, you are going to be really good at accomplishing and doing. I think you'll have a good ability to, just as this person was saying, that you will have the ability to come through and to look behind people's words to see what their true agenda is. I think that this is also amplifying that by saying that you will have the ability to, because of the influence of Mercury, to see and understand people's communication patterns. Communication is going to be a high priority for you. Use it. It's a strength of yours. Now, you may not think that it is, but it is. It is. Know what it is that you want to say, and then say, what is the simplest way of putting this across, without going into, yards and yards of detail before anybody comes to have any idea about what it is that you are talking about. Now, here we have the Ace of Discs. Oh, now isn't this such an interesting card to follow? That beautiful, beautiful card which was talking about your starting in the Magician. See, this Ace of Discs is saying, well, I call it the root of the powers of the earth. Now, funnily enough, I think that people who might be interesting to you and you may have dealings with during this period include Taurus or Gemini, or perhaps an Aries person. I think that this is the beginning now. See, having got this thought underway, the beginning of something which is really tangible, productive, useful in your life. There are now the seeds of prosperity and growth. Aces are all about potential. They're the seed of the suit. And in discs, for me, this is not just money, but it's about, look, all those things which go to make up what you think is a good standard of living for you. That is, what are the things to go up to say that, look, this is the things that I enjoy in my life. I'm feeling good about life. You're putting forward then those things which are going to give you abundance, a feeling of abundance in your life. And isn't that a great thing? I do actually see, though, that there could well be improving finances here. Money might come in. You may find money coming in from the most unexpected, or gifts, or value in lieu of money. That is, valuable things, receiving valuable things. It's a possibility here that there could well be a promotion or a pay rise if people are out there in the workplace. Certainly good luck and very good organizational skills again coming through here, because you'll have a deep well of grounded, practical organizational ability. And I think that's something which is going to be in store for you probably for about the next 3 months is what I'm getting for it here. Now, as I say, the aces can represent new beginnings and opportunities. In a suit of discs, it relates very often to work projects and new business, so don't be surprised if those things come up for you. I think that, look at the colours in this card here and the look of nature, and it may well also herald, I think, the beginning of a new understanding of yourself from the observation of nature, its seasons and its context. And I think a spiritual realization that we really are all related, and everything is a part of everything else. Look, with this energy coming through here, I would dare to have this affirmation in mind, and that is, wealth is my natural condition. It allows me to express my spirituality and creative potential in the world. And I am in harmony with the flow of nature. Also, work intensively on discovering and developing your potential, your inner wealth, how to use those things that you have, and remain open. Remain open for every form of enrichment in your life. Now here we come at last to the Three of Discs. Well, I think this is probably my favorite card, the Three of Discs. And why do I say that? Well, first of all, those three discs there with the moon underneath them, the three discs are, which I call the Lord of Material Work, actually, this card, but it's the energy which is more important. And I see here that we have, what do I think? Let's have a, excuse me, let's have a closer look at the card. Let me see what I'm getting. Okay, I'm getting Mars in the second 10 degrees of Capricorn, that 3rd to the 12th of January period. Now, Mars is about energy, assertion, and vitality, and Capricorn is about ambition, practicality, making things tangible. So this is a great card for you. Now, Mars is also exalted in your sign, and so the energy of Mars is very constructive in this scenario, in Capricorn, rather than its often destructive self. Now, Capricorn's materialism benefits from the energy and activity of Mars, and so I think this energy is signifying that investing time and effort in work, however broadly you want to define that term, will actually turn out very favorably for you. Again, I'm getting the feelings of energy around new jobs, expansion of work, maybe change, not a change of career, but additional work in a career. Career satisfaction is certainly something that I'm getting here. Doing a good job, continued progression forward, productivity. There may even be, I think, some teamwork or consulting other people in relation to things here. I think that you'll be looking to people for advice, and people will be looking to you for advice as well. I think we saw that here. This is an energy that's pervasive across this thing here. These three things represent the three gunas, as they're called in Hinduism, which symbolize the balance and harmony which is coming into your life during this period, and which I think is going to be around for some time to come. Look, I think that what this is also talking about, you know how I said that there was sort of a karma coming from this image here and in this energy? It's sort of coming through again, interestingly, that I'm getting the feeling here of a reward for your hard work and dedication. And really also that now is a time, I think, where your skills and your knowledge are going to start to move you forward. I think there is some sort of a feeling that you've been kind of treading water, not drowning, not sinking, just treading water. But now you're going to start to move along the wall, I think. So it's very good outcomes, I think, for work and business projects and practical matters in general. Again, those things which were to do with, where did we see it before? Someone was talking about, I can't recall now, but there was some message coming through about things being very, working very well with your hands, those things which are dedicated to the use of hands, the transmission of the idea formed in the mind and then executed through the hands. These three wheels or discs are very much in balance. And I think what it also says is that you need to be following things which are really good for your body, your mind, and your heart, I think. Life generally is going to be in balance, and you can reap the rewards of a balanced life. Great ability here to stick with things and to overcome obstacles. So set sail, hoist the spinnaker, let the wind fill that and propel you forward, and have this thought in mind that I am now ready to give everything and to receive everything. That's the way it is for you this month. There we go. December. Your December reading. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed giving it to you. Now, don't forget, make sure you check out your 2020 yearly reading. Just search for me, Nigel 2020, in your sign, and you'll get it. I thought you were fantastic during that reading. You were outstanding, and you played your part to perfection. And really, all that remains for me to say is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Until then, bye for now.